Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Hope you had a great weekend. It was busy for many, especially in the political scene, because Osun State was where all the action was. And by now, it's no news. You know how it's gone. It's something of a stalemate. INEC has declared the whole exercise inconclusive, and they've scheduled Thursday for a rerun. You know all the details. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to take calls from you at home, your viewpoints on all the facts as are already well known. But of course, they will be coming out as we're going along. It's just that they're not brand new, fresh facts. You've been hearing them since yesterday. You've been hearing them since this morning. So we're going to spend the time with your commentary and also the commentary of my guest in the studio, Razak Olukwaba, an election observer and public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for coming on as well.
Good morning and good day, viewers.
Indeed. And we'll also be hearing from our man over, or our men, depends. It might be a man, it might be our men, over in Osun. They'll be also giving us their professional reports. And as I said, it's largely a program where we want to see what your take is on all the parameters of this election. Of course, the arguments are out there. INEC has been commended, and INEC has also been condemned. Depends on what side you're on. Yeah. PDP says that they should just go ahead and declare their candidate the winner. APC says that it's never heard of such a jocular suggestion, that they can't be serious. It's ill-deserved and not even to be considered. So there you go. There are provisions of the Constitution, provisions of the Electoral Act. The returning officer explained himself in clear detail why he had to declare it inconclusive. Give me your take on this whole matter. And it must be said, it shouldn't be glossed over, this election was peaceful by and large.
Yeah, you see, looking at every other scenarios in the past, you will have had the death of one voter, disruptions, ballot snatching. So this time around, a lot of factors has come to play, which I have observed and you have said repeatedly by what we have seen. One, because there's faith and belief in the process now, because the increase in numbers of voters in the recent election Osun seems to be the largest. This is over 45% of registered voters. It was just 22% of people who registered and eventually came out to vote. So Osun seems to be the highest number of people who have come out to vote in terms of who have registered. So the faith in the process, faith in INEC, and political consciousness. INEC has done a lot of job that you cannot be agonizing every 4 years. Take part in the process. Determine who is going to tell you the direction of your life in the next 4 years. So a lot of factors has come to play. So people now pay attention. It's not a process for someone, relics of the art again. It's a process for people who understand how society works and people who want the better for the people. So Osun election, by and large, is peaceful. Given the standard of our election has been only in Nigeria, is very, 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 very peaceful. And I will commend INEC. You know, INEC said they registered 82 million registered voters. They gave us December that they're going to give us 80 million, but now they give us 82. I want a situation where in another 6 months, they give us 100 million registered voters. So it's commendable. They should look at other areas where there are limitations to look into it. The rerun, the first election held on 22. Rerun is going to be on 27. The difference in the winner of the last one was just 253, and the
353.
The total vote that is undecided as a result of disruption or election never held is 3,498.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what's
if
up for grabs.
If not, has about 1,600 plus. Osun had the list, which is Osun had the list, which is 800 plus. Orolu has about 947 or so, 900 plus. So putting everything together is 3,498 for compared to what the winner has to take the victory home. So
as of the time it was declared inconclusive, the PDP's candidate was, leading by 353 votes.
Well, yeah.
So there's some catching up to do by APC if it means to win this race.
Yes.
And no doubt, the PDP will be looking to extend further its lead. As at the moment, they
sustain it. Yes.
Yes, they want to extend it well, because it's something of a photo finish. And you see, this always goes back to that whole issue about my vote won't count. I'm not going to go there. Apparently, it's down to the wire. Every vote counts. 353. I mean, that goes to show you. That goes to show you. So as I said, we'll be hearing from our man, but we'll also take calls from, because all the facts are known about this matter and new developments. Of course, 48 of them are still going to be contesting. It's a very interesting scenario. But I heard on one of our sister programs this morning, Comrade Fumi, saying that, look, she doesn't expect any of those people or their followers to vote for anybody but the two front leaders, lest it be a vote wasted. It can't mean anything. Now, with this background, you would think that there's going to be a lot of horse trading going on right now. Negotiations, so to speak. Now, let's talk about that a bit, because vote buying as an allegation was, again, quite prominent in this particular election. In particular, again, on our sister program earlier today, with Michael Kweche and Nifemi Oguntoyimbo, they had the AD governorship candidate over there, Mr. Olugbenga Akitola, alleged that vote buying was rampant and that he was quite frankly depressed about the whole thing. And in relation to this question about whether they might want to align with somebody or the other, that particular gentleman said that, count us out, count me and my party out. It's not what it should be all about. How serious do you? He couldn't have been exaggerating the case.
I delivered the Ikere Ekiti in the Ekiti election, but I had to rush down to Lagos because of your program.
Very kind of you.
Saturday, I came back Friday. So you see, maybe because we are observers or we monitor elections, I don't see where. Maybe there's a platform that do that negotiation. They do the buying and selling. Maybe there's a platform for that. I don't know.
No. But are you saying
I didn't, and we tried. Yes,
that you
no
require proof. There was no such thing.
Yes, there was no such thing in all the areas that our people monitored.
Okay.
Even in Ekiti too. It seems to be an abstract accusation when they say people. Well, maybe when they said the governor of Ekiti was doing direct transfer to accounts of people. Maybe that was the pattern they used there. But because when we go around, I
you can only say what you saw.
Yes.
Or what you heard of.
Yes, but
and you
beyond
didn't
that,
see or hear of all these vote-buying allegations.
But beyond that, we have to hold all the parties responsible in this regard, including his own AD. That the man that said this, that we have to hold them responsible. Who buys vote? Who sells vote? It's not INEC. It's not police. It's the party. And you will end up seeing, getting evidence that all the parties were buying, probably because people had access to higher fund than the other. That was the pain of the one that didn't win the election, that I should have increased my own price from 10,000 to maybe 20,000 naira. Okay. So, and reality is down on us now that if you can't snatch ballot again, the ballot paper you are going to use in Osogbo, if you snatch ballot there, with the intention of taking it to Ife, it can't work because the serial number, the color is different.
And additionally, sorry, I might be jumping here, INEC also worked on security as well. Yeah. This whole matter about no phones, no photography inside the booth. All of that seems to have factored into making things difficult.
Yes.
Such that we had ridiculousness, and perhaps we can talk about that for a bit. Why were votes voided at all? Of course, from one point of view, it's about, INEC, I heard the allegation from PDP, INEC is working hands in glove with APC. Of course, APC is not going to stand for that. But, there were particular reasons why votes were voided.
Yes.
In one case, a returning officer was said to have absconded, whatever that means.
Yes. Yes. You see, from what we are seeing in Osogbo, all the previous electoral menace were thoroughly copped. For instance, if you say that INEC were man Friday with APC. It's been difficult to prove now because people queue for election. They voted peacefully. You can't see that didn't happen in the past. Remember the last time Aregbesola was coming in fresh. The mother of Aregbesola cannot even stay in Osogbo or Ilesha. I don't know where they took out, but we were aware. And they were clash between ACN then and PDP stalwarts, the PDP members then. There are indications now that the body language of the government in power today suggests that the winner must take the trophy home. Unlike in the past, because the currency of election, whether it's going to be peaceful or violence, is determined by the body language of the government in power at that time, which shows that the government in power today wants a winner to take the trophy home. Before now, you will have seen ridiculous figures coming out, announced by INEC. But this time around, all the foreign observers, you interview them. I listened to them on your TV, on your channel.
It's all nice. It's all well and good. Yes. Although the naysayers are saying that they simply, since things had been made very tight on the day of the election, then all these payments, alleged payments, simply were sorted out the day before. In other words, you can't catch the Nigerian, I don't know if that's a compliment, pants down, you know, when these kind of things happen. So to those critics, they would say that, why am I surprised that there were orderly queues when all businesses had been concluded the day before?
So yes, of course, maybe that would be the issue. But you see, the permanent solution to vote buying and vote selling is all the stakeholders to begin to take part thoroughly in it. And sincerely, the party should begin to roll out manifestos, programs.
Yes, but that is
going
ahead.
Yes, that will cause the reason.
But none of that can be done between now and Thursday.
Between now and Thursday is possible.
Okay.
It is possible between now and Thursday. Because yes, there are networks of information dissemination, which the parties involved now, the major stakeholders now, which is between APC and the PDP now, there can be network where information can be disseminated.
That what? That
decide your fate.
No,
don't take money. And decide your fate now. The next 4 years, you are in it.
Okay.
And the negotiation you should be having now, at this moment now, is not about how many thousand am I going to get, but what are the programs I have in stock
and hoping
for you in the next 4 years.
And hoping this will have any effect on the voters. This is another point. I don't want to sound like
in the Sona society, it should have effect.
Well, we are a society.
We are navigating towards that too now in Nigeria. You know that before now.
So these homilies, you think will wash?
It wash. Yes,
with
it's
the
going to sail.
That we're talking about.
It's going to sail.
Look, just do the sensible, logical thing. Somebody divided it up and says it comes to 6 naira a day for the next 4 years. Come on, think. We actually are optimistic that all of that logic and analysis is going to have an effect.
That should be the pattern.
And that those guys who are guilty of selling their votes, since they are buying, they are buyers, are going to say, oh, it's true, you know me, Onishebemo. I don't think I'm going to do that kind of thing again. This is the problem. Some people are skeptical.
And I think that was what happened.
At least in the short term.
Yes, and I think that was what happened in this election. Because if you look at it, if you tell me the money issue, why will those champions hold their terrain tight? Because you will discover that Omishore, in his own axis, had an impressive turnout.
Yes.
Vote. Oyetola had his own axis too. Adeleke and the ADC candidate too. They all sway in their areas. If it had been vote buying, it wouldn't have been possible for Omishore to do what he has achieved there, and Adeleke and Oyetola and all of such. It is about the fact that the chicken has come home to roost, that this is our son, and we know what he has done in public service. To that extent, we want it to extend to the center. Yes. That was what played out. So I find it difficult to say that monetary issue played any role in this. I find it very difficult.
Okay, we'll hear when people start calling in. We'll hear, because there were other people there, and as you said, you couldn't be everywhere, but as I said, it was a stakeholder, who was making these allegations, and so we have to take it alongside with other contributions that we are getting. But with such a narrow margin as 353, I wonder what that says to anybody. That 353, because I imagine both parties would have thought, both parties that have now emerged, the leaders, would have thought that they've got this, they've got this particular issue down pat. But to now see 353, it's like a photo finish. So you can't really tell who the people prefer.
Yes, because that's correct. And you also know that PDP, who will have loved to say that let's declare the winner now by this result. APC will also say that the results where you don't announce, these are our catchment areas.
Yes.
The ones who have that argument.
Yes.
Law is law, because even if it is one, victory has been, but law is law. If the law says that if the numbers of votes that has not been counted, that is legitimately not counted, voided, is more than the difference between the winner and the person that has taken second in the election. If that is what the law says, I think we should abide by it. And the INEC officials who did that know what they had in mind before they say that. The sector, the apparatus, the organization of INEC has something in mind when they put that clause there, that victory is not victory. Victory is a victory that is won properly. Because if 3,000 is voided and it's not, it's the franchise, and you have 350 as a margin, the danger of it is that the winner might not be the actual winner. The winner might be denied the victory as a result of what has happened. So it is legitimate for all those people that didn't vote to demand that I want to take part in the process. I want to determine who is going to preside over my life in the next 4 years. So it is legitimate for them to do that. So if that what the law has said is what they have done, I think it is in line. Allow those 3,000 to also decide who is going to be the governor of their state in the next 4 years. What we will advise both parties to do now is to begin to talk to members of their party in those areas to start canvassing for the general population. 3,498 is not a small figure. So they should start going around. Thursday is still far. We have 72 hours to the election time. So
Thursday is we're talking politics. So where 24 hours is said to be a lifetime.
Yes. So,
right?
So Thursday is 72 hours to election time. It's still sufficient for any party to achieve a lot of things, particularly when it comes to that kind of number, 3,498 votes. It's long enough.
Well, the interesting thing here is that the two front runners want to achieve the same thing.
Yes.
So that's what will make it very, very interesting.
Yes.
And they have the same audience to appeal to.
Yes.
So it's going to be quite interesting. Well, as I said, we're expecting, our man Ayo to come through. We're no doubt working on that. But in the meantime, we also want to be hearing from you. You have your takes on it. You have your understandings. And maybe some of you were even there. Some of you heard reports locally. But that generally, what we've spoken about so far, is the lie of the ground. So we'll take your calls as soon as we can get them. And move forward on this. Everybody's been talking about INEC as well. So our man Rashid, I understand, is ready in Osogbo. Good morning, Rashid.
Good morning to you, Yori.
Thank you very much. Now, what can you tell us now? All the facts are well known, but can you add anything new, anything fresh? Everything is set for Thursday. Please, give us the latest from your end.
Osun State is gradually coming back to the post-election period, as I can say. Students are resuming today. They ought to resume earlier, but their resumption date was actually put off because of the election. And now that this contingency of an inconclusive election is coming off, even at that, the students are now coming up. They've resumed this morning on Monday, and we are in Ilesha now. We've had enough of Osogbo, and Osun State happens to be one of those states in Nigeria that has the highest number of metropolitan areas. So we decided to come down to Ilesha today to see the look of things. And as it is, we've seen an array of policemen and security agencies leaving the town. The run will just be done in 4 units, 7 voting points in 4 local government area. That is Orolu, Ife North, Ife South, and Oshogbo local government area. So the security agents which are on ground before are moving out. Businesses are now opening. Things are gradually coming back to normal. And you know, the process itself was given pass mark virtually by all key players, from the politicians to the security agencies to INEC. So the atmosphere of peace is still being, you know, is being maintained. But with what is on ground now, September 27 is no doubt a big date in the lives of these politicians, owing to what is on ground. And the politicians are now counting their gains, their losses, and even the cost. And with that, the issue of vote buying is coming up over time. With interviews and which we made yesterday, even to observers and some residents, they actually said there's some high level of vote buying. And you know, politicians are now ready to, you know, the stake is somewhat high. The 4 units and the 7 voting points is like 1 million votes to politicians now. So everything is now being put in place, even as much as they are trying to learn what actually went wrong or what they did right, to consolidate on it. And even right as I am speaking, I have a politician on here, and he's of the APC, he's the APC chieftain in Ilesha, that is Desmond Ojo, trying to ask him to give us the general thoughts about the whole issue. You're welcome,
Good morning,
Desmond Ojo.
I'm Babatuli Desmond Ojo. I'm actually an APC chieftain from Obukonri Adifera constituency,
Okay.
Ilesha.
Okay.
Not.
Thank you. Now, there's been allegation of vote buying. There are this allegation being put that it's across board. What is your take?
Good morning, Hall. Basically, vote buying is all about giving out money to buy electorates. And in my party, what we've done is that we've bought over electorates by the works we've done in the past 7.5 years. What we've been preaching all over our campaigns is to let them see what this good government has done in terms of infrastructural development, in terms of education, in terms of giving back to the society. But basically, during the elections, we discovered that some of these other parties, they do bribe their way into the electorate. And what we've done is to actually canvass for our votes based on antecedents, based on what Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola has done in the last 7.5 years. That is not to say, as a chieftain, that is not to say that making breakfast for your people, which we've been doing that over the years, making lunch for them does not actually mean vote buying, but it's what we've been doing normally, and that is what we do in the APC. But we've discovered that over the election period, a lot of these parties, they actually pay money to buy votes. And God so good, we won all our strongholds, though there's some lapses, and I'm sure that by the grace of God, on Thursday, we will come out victorious. Because if you discover the Oshogbo and Orolu units, they are strongholds. So we discovered that at the end of the day, there were a lot of discrepancies in those areas. And even give effect to SDP. But with Orolu and Oshogbo federal constituency, we're sure that by the grace of God on Thursday, even without spending a penny, we will be victorious.
Now, we go to vote buying because it's a very burning issue. We are looking at the general electoral process. In your area, how would you rate the conduct of INEC officials and even the security agents?
It was fantastic. I got to my family house at about 6 o'clock from my house, and by 7:30, driving around the town, I could see INEC officials as early as 7:30 in the morning. They were at the polling units in Ijeda and Iloko as early as 7:30 in the morning. By 8 a.m. in the morning on Saturday, they were ready for us. And it was so peaceful because everybody queued up. There was no security agents harassing anybody. You couldn't see roadblocks. You couldn't see any of that. What the government did during the last election was one of the best elections I've seen in this part of the world.
All right, now, you are from the Obukonri federal constituency. Yeah. The runoff is not coming up in your area, but you know, as a politician, that the success or otherwise of your party is hanging on the results
of the other areas. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
What do you think is the preparation of your party to see that at least you come out victorious?
Obviously, we are doing the rerun in other areas that are not a federal constituency, but as a politician, we all work together. We know our stakeholders in those areas, and we're already talking to them. We're conversing for votes, and we're letting them see that, okay, our future is very, very important. It's better for our electorate not to sell their votes now and let the continuity of the good works continue in Osun. So already we've been talking to ourselves, we've been having meetings, you can see my eyes are red, we've been having meetings, we've been on phone calls, trying to convince everybody that, okay, voting for APC is a vote for continuity, is a vote for good governance, and is a vote for our children's future. So we're talking to ourselves already in all the other units that we're having the rerun.
As it is now, the people of Osun have actually spoken through the ballots. Let me put it straight to you. Do you think your party actually stand a chance of pulling off any surprise?
Of course, we will win. It won't be a surprise. We will win because the people are well elected.
The PDP are leading. The PDP is leading with about 353 votes.
They're leading with 353 votes, and we have about 3,500 votes to compete for. And by the grace of God, if we have 3,000 votes from those votes, then we're fine.
What would have happened if the APC got the 353? It means something went wrong somewhere.
Man proposes, God disposes. And the truth matter is that we're humans. Some mistakes might have happened in some places, in some areas, but we're trying to correct all the hills.
And that has paid off for the PDP. They are now leading with 353. What assurance are you having that you are going to get those 353 and even surpass?
We have the assurance, and by the grace of God, we will surpass them because good works will continue. And the people they are endeared to the APC, they are endeared to good governance, they are endeared to good development. So with that has been a strong point. That has been a preaching point. And I can assure you that by the grace of God, by 4-5 p.m. on Thursday, we'll come out victorious.
All right, thank you very much. And that is Desmond Ojo speaking with us, and he is speaking as a true politician. You know, they never say die. That spirit is rightly in him. But in fact, and indeed, that is the situation now. Politicians are now moving out to actually get to the electorate. With information we are gathering, there is tendency that though campaign is over, but now with this little window of today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, politicians will be visiting these points in order to canvass for votes. That has been the situation for the now. Everywhere is calm now. There is peace, and everything is on the top gear on the side of INEC and even the political parties to see to how September 27 will pan out.
Well, thank you very much, Rashid. So there we have it. Everybody can be anywhere, everywhere, as you said. You didn't see, but then you were wearing a tag, so they might have avoided you. But as you heard, a lot of people are, you know, they're sort of endorsing the allegation that there was vote buying. And then, well, they were talking about, we now have 72 hours to, you can't campaign anymore, but
yes.
to network. To network.
Yes.
And whatever. There are those who will say that, network, no. We are going to be networking. You say, networking, I don't know what your definition of networking is. That is the suspicion that people have. But hopefully not. Hopefully it's not going to be that, because it's a scourge. And as I was saying, the candidate of AD over there, he said, what is it coming to? That it will escalate if we don't take care. Okay, be that as it is. As I guess the people like Omishore, Senator Omishore, they're suddenly the man. They're the man now, because I don't...
over 1,600.
Yes.
And
so,
South is 1,300.
Yes. So
North is 300.
Whoever
plus.
Senator Omishore decides to throw his weight behind will be feeling a bit more comfortable.
Yes.
Let me not say a lot.
Yes, yes.
So he is the beautiful bride for now.
Yes.
And I imagine both sides will be reaching out to him. I don't know.
APC seems to have a higher, and because Oshogbo might be a catchment for APC, Orolu might be neither here nor there. And with proper discussion and negotiation with the Omishori came behind the, and with whatever Aregbe, who is an Elisha man, and Ife man, because Elisha Ife that is an axis on his own. With whatever he can get, minority plus minority becomes a majority. So there seems to be a higher stake for APC. APC, sorry, PDP must also tighten their belt also to sustain that 353 and get whatever they want to get. So let
me quickly go on a break. Okay. We'll come back. We'll be very short about it. And stay by, please, because we do want to hear from you as well. Okay, welcome back. And Razak Olokoba, electoral observer and public affairs analyst, is with us. And we hope very, very shortly the phone lines will be on. We need to hear from you as well. 72 hours for a rerun. A lot can be achieved in that 72 hours.
Yeah, a great lot can be achieved.
Both parties are desperate to, clinch the deal. On the one hand, APC, because it is just vacating power and it wants a continuation. PDP, because it wants to show that it's not washed out. It's not washed out, and indeed that it is still
in a comeback.
Yeah. So they would like that if they could get it. But it all depends on the, well, we like to say, because that's what voting is all about, that it all depends on the electorate. It depends on what the voter says. Well, we hope so. With all these allegations of money, vote buying, flooding the air, we hope that it really does depend on the electorate. Even at this late hour, you seem sure that, it won't play a significant part, right? You're sure that it won't play a significant part.
You mean vote buying?
Yeah.
What?
Money generally.
Money.
Because whatever you were going to do with money in politics, you should have done by now. It is not now that you should still be deploying money as part of your arsenal. But it is suspected, because of those allegations, that indeed might be the case.
Well, you see, the stage we are now, I think what we should...
So sorry to interrupt you. Let me quickly take Mr. George, who called in from Ikeja. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, I have friends in Osun State, and I also often go to Oshogbo for business. The reflection of the election result, what I would say is, with what I know of Osun State and the performance of the current governor on ground there, it doesn't seem to reflect on what I'm seeing on the results that came out yesterday. I am also aware that the contending party, especially the PDP, have been capitalizing on a blackmail theory against the current governor. This is what I get from the people on the ground there. What they are saying around that gave that senator a victory in her senatorial election that took place earlier was that the current governor was responsible for the death of his elder brother. And that seems to have been carried across to other areas of the state. I'm telling you that this is what they don't say loud, but this is what people tell me there on the ground. Because if you look at the development on the ground, Uncle Yori, you cannot say that this governor or this government that is currently in place has not performed well. As an educationist, I took a copy of that appointment, which the current governor, developed to a university professor in the UK who has been teaching for over 50 years. He was shocked that such a tablet could be developed by a developing country. That is just one of the things I saw on the ground. In the past, if you were going from Ibadan to Ile-Ife, and along that express road, you want to branch off to Oshogbo, it will look as if you want to fall into a ditch. But this governor has constructed the roads right from there, not to talk about the one from Oshogbo to Ilesha and the other states. There are so many developmental strides. You go to the schools, you see structures. But the election result doesn't seem to reflect that. Blackmail seems to be at play. And the current governor didn't seem to do much to dispel the blackmail and the rumors going on. This is what, personally, I think is responsible for the unexpected result. Be that as it may, Uncle Yori, I do not see the PDP winning this election.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. What do you make of George's assessment that,
there are 48.
that the numbers surprised him vis-a-vis his impression of how well when Rauf has done?
That's one. Secondly is that there are 48 people contested.
To divide up
so
the vote.
There are depletion of vote that will have gone to if there were 2 or 4 people contested. You know, those small votes, if you put it together, it's huge. It's huge. You look at it, there are areas where some parties who maybe, I don't want to mention certain parties, that you see the votes they have, that if you put all those votes together, they are huge. He made a point by what he has said, that those blackmail, even the question of salaries, and there are a lot of rumors going about, which is also what they used against Adeleke's brother, so that the certificate issue as a Ajobi blackmail and things like that. So it's both sides. But they will have gotten a huge vote. APC will have gotten a huge vote if the former SSG was still with him. You look at his vote, marry it with what the APC candidate has gotten. It will have been it will have cost home to victory, and all other depletions in other areas too. But like I said, he has raised a very, very, very important issue that in our country we have gotten to a point where we should be looking at performance, where we should be looking at track records and the profile of people who are coming to rule us. Many people don't expect this election APs will have difficulty in cruising them to victory. Yeah. Just like I said, many people don't expect. Many people thought that it's a foregone victory. That they are going to, it's going to be a win-win situation.
Exactly. So until the results of the electorate's decision action starts coming in. Let me take Olabanji in Ondo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, it's nice joining your program this morning.
We're delighted to have you.
All right.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, please, my concern about the whole thing that is going on in Osun State is this mindset that the current governor has done very well, and as such that PDP could not win the election. I think I beg to disagree with the last speaker. The fact that you think that Adekunle did well does not mean that the person that is contesting under PDP could not do better than him if he is given the opportunity to lead the people of Osun State. What I want to say is that people of Osun State should be allowed to choose who leads them in the next 4 years. That is number one. And another thing I want to say is that the voter inducement that has actually perverted our electoral process in Nigeria is something that is actually giving one a lot of concern. And with the current effort by the INEC to ensure that vote buying, is actually reduced to the barest minimum, is very commendable. And I believe that if this election is conducted under free and fair atmosphere on Thursday, the true winner, the true choice of the people of Osun State will emerge. And having said that, I want to quickly mention that while this election was going on a few days back, there was this point that 1,000 votes was missing in the PDP vote from Aida Day, something like that. I'm not a politician, I'm not from Osun State. I don't know, maybe anything has been done in that regard to actually, trace that 1,000 votes so that these PDP people will not be shortchanged. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, the election that held on 22nd is a clear indication that there's a radical departure from what has happened in the past. Maybe orientation, maybe what the government of the day has in mind, that we don't want the wrong people to get to power again. We want the people's choice to emerge. And we shouldn't be throwing away our achievements as a people. The government of the day cannot lay claim to the achievement we have had with the success of the election in Bauchi, in Kogi, and Katsina. The success belongs to the whole nation, and we shouldn't throw it away. The election of 22nd is tremendously impressive. Observers all over the world who came said that with the way the exercise is going, if it is sustained, people of the rest of the world who had issue with the election will come in to learn one or two things from us. So, by and large, I want us to be objective on this. You remember in the past, you remember we'll be counting we'll be counting people in body bags by now. We will be recording value, but INEC is doing a lot of things. See, there are inducements, there are things that INEC has introduced into it that it is difficult for you to say you want to disrupt the election because it's going to be an exercise in futility. In fact, parties are also learning from INEC now. Parties, APC said you need to quote the serial number of your PVC before you will register as a voter, and it will be on your voters on your membership card. So gone are the days when you have fictitious name as party members. So
Muhammad Ali, for instance.
Yes. So all Muhammad Ali, for instance, Mike Tyson, for instance. So there are a lot of things that INEC is doing that it is going to be pretty difficult for you to do what he say. 1,000 votes in this election stolen from PDP, and we think PDP will keep quiet. There were allegations that they didn't count that, but they should prove it. There's a platform for you to say whoever that has done something that's not supposed to do that. There's a platform for it, and we are looking at it, that this process, we won't allow anybody to truncate it. What INEC is doing, the civil society are in support of it. We are going to make everything available for them to succeed, so that by the time we are going to have 2019 election, it's going to be credible, acceptable, and the most free and fair election in the history of this country.
In relation to the rerun, in those areas where those, almost 4,000 votes are at stake.
Yes, 3,498.
Yes, almost 3,500. Do you have any inkling as to whether the voters there are progressives or conservatives, so-called?
Well, I'm a member of a group that is predominantly a Yoruba group, so I will describe the whole of Yoruba land progressive. But there are tendencies. The tendency of Ife and Ife South and Ife is a tendency that may align with Omeshoro. That's why it's the bride of the day at the moment.
Let me take, I think it's Sunday in Taraba State. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. I love your topic this morning.
Thank you very much.
You are doing a nice job for Kunyori.
Oh, too kind. Too kind of you.
And to your guest there.
Razak Olokoba.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, there's one thing I want to comment on this your topic this morning concerning this election. That the area of where the present governor have done well, yes, they have done well, but me as a civil servant, I can't be using my money to construct road and 1 year, 12 months, 13 months, you won't be paying me. I think it's a bad idea. Because as a governor, civil servant, as in they live by their own salary, and you won't be paying a civil servant, you'll be using the money to construct schools, to construct roads, and you expect the civil servant to be hungry, and they will be looking at your. It's not done in any way. Pay your civil servant the remedy if allocation is coming every month. If it's only 1 hour that they are having as your in the pot of the
as remnants.
Use it to do something for the state. Not that you be accumulating civil servant money and you be using it to construct schools, be using it to construct roads, and you expect the civil servant to be happy. It's not done in any way, sir. So
all right.
That area should be looked at because civil servants are not happy with that.
All right then.
He has done well.
But you are speaking from Abuja. You are speaking
Taraba.
from sorry, I beg your pardon. You are speaking from Taraba.
Yes, sir.
So this is just your own projection.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
And for the rerun, and if you look at the margin of the PDP and the APC, 350 something or 340 something.
353.
353.
353. And if you look at the remaining votes, they have about 3,000 subtraction to contest with. I think the PDP is going for victory. That's magic.
All right. Okay. Oh, you're prophetic. Thank you very much for calling in. He called it the way he wants it.
There's no time we won't keep coming back to the issue of restructuring. Virtually, there are 3 people involved now. The government, the people, and where the allocation is coming from. Federal government has not done anything wrong with the state allocation. People who work must collect salary. And governors are also helpless. Helpless in the sense that there's a need for you to look inward at what you can generate. They have made the argument. I'm not holding brief for all of them because people must be paid their salaries. But they made the argument that a governor said that I'm not a governor who will only come and pay salaries. There are other things that I need to do. Yes, fine, but people must be paid. This is important for us to look inward. One of the poorest states in Nigeria today is one of the richest in terms of resources. Kogi is number 2 on the list of people who have the highest resources in Nigeria. So it is time for us to stop going to Abuja capping and look inward.
So you're saying that
what we have won that this day will come.
Okay.
And once they will also come, if you don't stop it.
Stop what? Stop not paying salaries?
No, stop going to Abuja capping now to collect money. You need to look inward. States must generate resources for themselves. This is a calamity for the nation. And it's a stalemate. It will continue if you don't look at it. We have to solve the problem. We have to put our heads together. States will keep owing salaries. We keep owing salaries. Don't let us put this aside. States must look inward, generate your own resources to pay the salary of your own workers.
Yakub in Dokpemu, good morning, sir.
Jisori, good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to Mr. Razak.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. You see, Jisori, I'm very, very happy. Happy in the sense that you should give it to the government of the day. Because this is the first time I've ever seen an election that is so tense. Whether you are from Osun State or you are not from Osun State, if you are a sympathy of one of the political parties, yesterday is a tense day for you. Because the reason is this election is not going to Champions League now. They have already played the first half with INEC as a good referee, having them to go into this dressing room. Now, the political party, they are going to go for the second round now. They need the Ronaldo of this world and then the Messi of this world in their team. So tell them that you are going for the second round. You have to go and make sure you perform the magic in your locality. The issue is this. The people that say that they should declare the one other party winner, the 3,000 plus of the vote is here to play for. And then the margin is just 353. Now, who tells you that somebody that is score one goal and then is looking to score another goal, and then who tells you that the person that is waiting to equalize the goal and then still give him back another goal in order to come out quickly in that football pitch? He cannot make it. I have to say that, Tiviori, whether the vote buy or no vote buy, this election in Osogbo is a very good election, and then it's a very good to Nigerian citizens and then the government in the power. Whoever takes the call on that very particular Thursday, it is the will of the Osogbo people and then Osun entirely.
All right.
And then I wish the sympathy I have for the other party, I don't want to mention that party, the sympathy I have for them, I pray and then they will come out victory at the end of the day. Because the 3,000 plus is here to take off. Thank you, God bless.
Thank you very much, Yakub.
You
say, I don't want to mention any party.
It's sensible to say that the vote at stake, if you deduct it with the number of what Adeleke if you deduct it, it's insignificant. You can say you declare a winner. But if you deduct 3,000 from 353, you'll be eating into even Adeleke's vote. So that is the reason why it is undecided. If the contested votes can be deducted from the numbers used to edge over the other one, it's insignificant. If you deduct it, it still wins. That's okay. But if it is still there, that 3,498 votes to 353, it's not sensible to say that we cannot, on the basis of that, declare a winner.
Okay.
And that was the explanation of INEC. And that was what the people who made that law also had in mind, that the areas where they were voided, there was no votes. If it is more than the number that declares so-so person as a winner, is lesser than the number that is being contested, there will be no winner. Okay. That set of people must be allowed to cast their votes.
Indeed. Shegun, thank you for holding on in Akure. Good morning.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning. Please go ahead now.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, it's a pleasure joining you on this program today.
We're delighted to have you.
I want to appreciate the fact that Uncle Yori's program is a must-watch for me.
You're too kind. Thank you very, very much. So what do you think about...
I would rather miss my meal than to miss this program.
Okay. So wait, did you observe the election?
Points, sir. Equally, let me quickly appreciate Mr. Rasad too.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
For doing a good job.
Okay.
Now,
sir.
the issue is this, sir. Osun State is very, very vital to average Yoruba-speaking person. Reason being that this is more or less the source of Yorubas. But let us note that the good work of Ogbeni Raouf, on one side,
I think that call...
there is an echo somehow.
Oh, okay. Please don't bother. Don't bother to listen to yourself. Just continue.
Okay.
Thank you
now,
very much.
The good work of Ogbeni Raouf on one side, and what that man from Taraba pointed out played a vital role. Okay, sir, okay. Played a vital role. Osun State is not yet an industrialized state. It is a public service state. Workers were held for up to 2 years or more. Lautech in Ogbomoso were on strike for long. It has ripples effect on this election. Take it or leave it. Number 3, the issue of party being more now than before, like Mr. Rasad pointed out, is also an issue. Therefore, this Thursday rerun or whatever name given by INEC is going to be more than what that my brother from Lagos, George, said. They have played out the full time. They are now going on extra time. And it takes strategy and tactics for the two parties concerned. And I want to believe the people of Osun State, either residents or citizens, have a major role to play. And of course, on a final note, this is a test case for INEC. INEC has a duty to convince all the doubting Thomases that they are up to the task either now or in 2019. Once again, thank you, Uncle Yori.
I thank you very much, sir, for calling in and for the very kind things you said. Really, almost that's our program, but Razak, just sort of wrap it up. 353 votes ahead. The PDP is leading. It'll be looking to address that, you know, and maybe overturn that in the election. You know, that is the ruling APC will be looking to do that. PDP, of course, will be looking to extend its lead. Thursday is the D-Day.
The two parties will bring out their first 11 in terms of strategy and tactics.
Oh, in terms of strategy and tactics, okay,
tactics.
because they've already nominated their captains.
Yes. So they need to bring that out. And it's a signal to other states that your program is going to give you victory. If there's a state that the party said they don't want a candidate, don't feed that candidate. Feed the candidate they said they want. Lagos, Akure, Kano, anywhere in part of this country that people say this is the candidate you want. Feed it so that you're going to assist the victory of your party. So on this note, there should be eternal vigilance.
All right, then we'll leave it there. And of course, matters arising as we move towards Thursday, we'll be covering that as well. Thank you very much, Alhaji Razak Olokoba.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Indeed. And so that's our program. Join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.